Welcome to this comprehensive guide on the Service Locator game pattern, a powerful design approach for managing dependencies in your game development projects. This pattern helps game objects access necessary services like audio managers or input handlers without needing to know their specific implementations, promoting modularity and ease of maintenance. We'll explore its implementation step by step within Visual Studio and Unity 3D, providing practical insights for beginners. First, let's understand the core concept. A central registry, or service locator, stores references to various services. This allows any part of your game to request a service by its type, receiving the correct instance without direct coupling. Let's begin by setting up our project in Unity 3D. Create a new 3D project and name it Service Locator Demo. Once Unity loads, we'll create a new C# script to define our service interface. Open iService.cs in Visual Studio. This interface will outline the common contract for all our services. Here, we define a simple log message method. Any service implementing this interface must provide its own version of this method. Next, let's create a concrete implementation of our service. Create another C# script in Unity called Audio Service. Open audioservice.cs in Visual Studio. This class will implement the iService interface. Implement the log message method, perhaps by printing a message to the console, indicating it's an audio service. Now, for the heart of the pattern, the service locator itself. Create a new C# script named Service Locator. Open servicelocator.cs. This class will be static, providing global access to register and retrieve services. We'll use a dictionary to store our services, mapping their type to their instance. Implement a register service method. This method takes an iService and its type, adding it to our dictionary. Crucially, we also need a getService method. This allows other parts of the game to retrieve a registered service. A helpful tip: consider adding error handling to getService for when a service isn't registered, preventing runtime crashes. Now, let's create a Game Manager script to initialize and register our services. Open GameManager.cs. This script will be responsible for setting up our service locator. In the awake method, we'll instantiate our audio service and register it with the service locator. Remember, awake is called when the script instance is being loaded, ensuring services are ready before other scripts try to use them. Create an empty game object in your Unity scene and name it Game Manager. Drag and drop the GameManager.cs script onto this new Game Manager game object. Now, let's create a client script that will use our registered service. Name it Player Controller. Open PlayerController.cs. This script will demonstrate how to retrieve and use a service. In the Start method, we'll retrieve the audio service using our service locator. Then, we can call its log message method, proving that our service is accessible. Create another empty game object in the scene, name it Player, and attach the Player Controller script to it. Run the game. Observe the console output. You should see the message from our audio service. This demonstrates how Player Controller successfully retrieved and used audio service without direct reference. Let's extend this by creating another service, an input service. Create a new C# script for it. Open inputservice.cs and implement iService, providing its own log message implementation. Now, modify GameManager.cs to also instantiate and register the input service. It's good practice to register all your core services in a central location like a game manager or a dedicated Bootstrap script. Modify PlayerController.cs to also retrieve and use the input service. Run the game again. You should now see messages from both audio service and input service in the console. This demonstrates the flexibility of the service locator. Multiple services can be registered and retrieved through the same mechanism. A key advantage is that if you decide to change the implementation of audio service, Player Controller doesn't need modification. You simply update the audio service implementation and register the new version in Game Manager. This promotes loose coupling, making your codebase more robust and easier to maintain over time. Consider the null object pattern as a helpful tip for unregistered services. Instead of returning null, you could return a null audio service that implements iService but does nothing. This prevents client code from crashing if a service isn't available, making your game more resilient. Another advanced tip: you can extend the Service Locator to support multiple implementations of the same service type. For example, you might have a debug audio service for development and a release audio service for the final game. The Service Locator pattern is particularly useful in complex systems where dependencies can become intricate and hard to manage. It centralizes service management, making it easier to swap out implementations or add new services without affecting existing code. However, be mindful of potential downsides, such as the Service Locator becoming a global dependency itself. Overuse can lead to hidden dependencies, making it harder to understand a component's requirements at a glance. Always strive for a balance between flexibility and clarity in your architectural decisions. To summarize, the Service Locator pattern provides a powerful way to decouple services from their consumers. It enhances modularity, making your game code more organized and easier to modify. Remember to implement error handling and consider the null object pattern for robustness. And always be aware of the trade-offs, ensuring your design remains maintainable. We've covered creating interfaces, concrete services, the Service Locator itself, and integrating them into Unity 3D. This foundational understanding will empower you to build more scalable and manageable game architectures. Experiment with different service types and explore how this pattern can simplify your game development workflow. Thank you for joining this tutorial on the Service Locator game pattern. We hope this guide helps you in your journey as a game developer.